110 million. That apparently is the price that City are willing to pay for Elliot Anderson. And this bid is imminent. And do you know what's even crazier? Never mind the actual price, never mind how much it is for a player that's had 2 years in the Premier League. It might not even be accepted, because it is being packaged up. All the detail on the latest here on Adam FC on City's hunt for Elliot Anderson. What's happened to Manchester United, why this is okay for the Reds, and it's a huge risk for Manchester City, and it's an even bigger risk for Elliot Anderson. Everything coming up in the show here. Get into the comment section, everybody, and let me know your thoughts on this. Is Elliot Anderson worth 110 million? Is he worth more than what Declan Rice was 2-3 years ago? Because this is what the owner of Nottingham Forest, Marinakis, has pretty much told Manchester City. They've had one bid rejected already. We don't know how much that is, but it's been rejected. We can kind of guess that it probably was under the 100 million mark. Nottingham Forest, apparently, according to all of the sources and all the reports on this, are wanting a set fee of 100 million. So this is why I said before, the crazy thing about this fee, which is astronomical, ludicrous in fact, is that it might not be accepted, because the 90 million down is what City want to offer, and Marinakis and Nottingham Forest want 100 million down. City are offering 20 million in add-ons. 20 million in add-ons. When is that ever a thing, by the way? We were seeing transfers happen for this not too long ago. In fact, we're still seeing transfers happen for this now. And this is just add-ons. This shows you how big this transfer actually is. And there is so many risks involved in this transfer as well with Manchester City. First of all, for the club themselves, obviously with the sanctions above their head, there is that uncertainty as well. Maybe you could say in this, and a little bit of a conspiracy theory is, let's pile in now and get as much spent as we possibly can before we get a transfer ban after all of these sanctions come through. That's one way of looking at it. You could also say, how the hell are Manchester City going to make this work without Pep Guardiola? I've said this before. My opinion on Elliot Anderson is a fantastic player. And Manchester City are in a very, very good position because of Pep and what he can do. And what he could do and did do before isn't going to be able to come back and bail Manchester City out of this one. Let me explain. Jack Grealish, £100 million, treble winner, fantastic. But different player, 100 million. That was masked by his performances were masked, by Pep Guardiola's brilliance in getting the maximum out of his squad. And only with a massive squad can you get away with transfers like this. Only having brilliant players elsewhere on the pitch can you get away with transfers like this. Beforehand, obviously Manchester City, title-winning team, in comes Jack Grealish, 100 million. Didn't perform to the Jack Grealish levels. Obviously he did well. He won trophy galore. But was it all about Jack Grealish? No. What are Manchester City expecting out of Elliot Anderson? The pressure is even more on him, because he is now being brought into a midfield which is kind of falling apart. I say that because Gonzalez is convincing nobody. Reinders is supposedly off to Atletico Madrid, and Rodri is tempting with the presidential election to go over to Real Madrid. Before we move forward with the rest of this story, I want to show you something which has genuinely upgraded my football setup. If you're like me, a football fan who wants to hear the crowd, hear the crystal clear commentary, and have that whole atmosphere in your living room, then listen to this. WIM is a speaker enhancement system that you simply just connect via Bluetooth, which turns your old speakers into the best surround sound that you can hear. One of the best features on this system is the dialogue enhancement. Just take a listen to this clip here of me watching the Champions League final and tell me you can't hear the difference.
Straight into Dembele. The back, he's got over, he's given the penalty. He's given the penalty.
So if you want to bring more of that match day experience to your living room, be ready for the World Cup, never miss a VAR call or what's being said on the pitch, then check out WIM in the top of this description. Check that link out there for all the latest offers on their website. So where is that City depth? Where's it gone? Elliot Anderson for 110 million? You could always argue that you've got to spend more to come back up again and obviously compete again, because let's be honest as well, he's going into an unstable side mentally as well, because they haven't won the league in 2 years, which was the be-all and end-all. And then when all else fails, you've got the bailout. You've got the mastery, the magician, and the magic that Pep Guardiola can produce gone. Now, this moves me on to the player's side of things and Elliot Anderson and what the hell he's actually thinking and how he sees this as a move which benefits him more than any other. Maybe it's simply because he found out that Manchester City were the only ones willing to be crazy enough to bid this amount of money and meet what Marinakis wants, even though that's not even guaranteed yet either. It is a crazy, crazy transfer, this one. He was open to other moves, and I'm guessing Manchester United did move in there and offer something to Elliot Anderson, trying to get him on board. And like we know, Manchester United, unless the player is on board, they're not going to get into a bidding war or even go into negotiations with the selling club if the player does not want to go to them. I.e., if he's leaning towards Manchester City, no problem at all. We're walking away. We might have saved ourselves a few quid as well at the same time. I would like Elliot Anderson at Manchester United. I think every single Man United fan would. But is he worth 110 million? No, he's not. No one's worth the money that they're paid or what clubs are paid for them players. We know this. Is Elliot Anderson worth that? If you're successful, yes. I just don't see City's get out here with this one. There isn't the Pep guidance there anymore. Maresca is not Pep Guardiola. As long as he has worked underneath him, he's still not Pep Guardiola. This is not the same scenario that Elliot Anderson's walking into right now. And yes, if he wants to go to Manchester City, that's fine. That's why they're bidding, and they're probably the only club, and that's why he's going to go City. He could stay at Forest. I don't think he's going to, though, because international, obviously now with England playing in the World Cup at the moment. And, of course, when you look at that, you've got a better chance of maintaining that if you're in the spotlight, if you're at a bigger club. He wants to play Champions League football. I get it all. At 23, you're probably looking at making that move. And I totally understand that. But there's so much going on behind the scenes at Manchester City, I just don't see why he would go to them. But then I have to also come back to what I just said a moment ago. If Manchester United have offered him a contract and he's happy with it, that's fair. But if he knows that Man United are not going to meet that asking price of Nottingham Forest, then of course he's going to go to Manchester City. They're the only club that can offer him Champions League football right now because they're the only club crazy enough to meet the asking price that Nottingham Forest have got on Elliot Anderson's head. It is one of them crazy, crazy scenarios, this one. And for all the Man United fans, by the way, who are bitching and moaning, oh my God, the amount of crap I've seen online from Man United fans going on, asking why Manchester United are just going to allow Manchester City to take Elliot Anderson away. If he does not want to come to the football club, then we're not going to buy him. That's why United are not bidding. It is as simple as that. Why are you trying to convince somebody to come who doesn't want to come? Why are you going to blow half of your budget on this transfer window that we've got with other areas of the pitch that we need to sort out as well on a player who doesn't want to come? That kind of explains why United are not. And it doesn't matter how long he's been on Man United's list. There's been plenty of players on Manchester United's list through the years, even under Sir Alex Ferguson, that we didn't get. So why has that got anything to do with it? When it comes down to it, if the price is astronomical and the player doesn't want to come, oh my God, why are we not bidding on a playoff? It's ludicrous thinking. It really is stupid from some Manchester United fans. There are other people out there that could do the same job. In fact, I don't think Matheus Fernandes is that far away from Elliot Anderson in terms of his performance this season. And it looks like we're going to get him for half the price. And he's 2 years younger. So, yeah, I'd happily go for Fernandes over Elliot Anderson at this point. And the fact that Manchester United are not having to deal with Marinakis and Nottingham Forest and that crazy setup that's going on there, and you all know what I mean by that, I'm quite pleased. I'm quite happy with where we're at right now. But let me know in the chat, everybody. First of all, Elliot Anderson, 110 million, which isn't guaranteed to be accepted, is ludicrous on its own. Is he worth that? Is there a concern that he's going to the wrong club right now? Should he just stay put? Should he just wait it out another year and see what happens? He could easily come out now and say at 23, I'll do one more year at Forest. I'll sign a new deal with a release clause at the end of this season. That's what I'd be doing right now. Because there's no guarantee that Manchester City are going to be any fit state by the end of this season. Let's be honest. They weren't very good in the last 2 years with Pep Guardiola and the billions that he spent. So what's going to change? The fact that you're bringing Elliot Anderson in, who hasn't played at the highest level yet. For that amount of money, I go back to what I said. Grealish was coming into a winning side. This is not a winning Manchester City side. This is different, and they haven't got Pep. Let me know your thoughts. Get into the chat. Let me know what you're thinking on that in the comment section. Of course, make sure you pop a like on the video if you're enjoying the content, and hit that subscribe button here on Adam FC. Thanks for watching, everybody.